Guyana makes headlines once again on the international scene, and head of state outlines coalition government's 5-year plan for the good life. It's Friday, January 3, 2020. It's the end of the first work week for the new year. Welcome to InfoHub. Guyana is once again being featured on the international scene. This time, the country is being touted as one of the best destinations to visit in 2020.
The land of many waters was today featured on the United States NBC Today show as a top destination for 2020.
Guyana, you say, is a good spot to go overseas.
Guyana is a wonderful place to go. If you look on the map, you can see it's just in the northern part of South America.
Okay.
But I would encourage you to think of it really as a bonus Caribbean country, because culturally it's much more connected to places like Trinidad and Tobago. It has beautiful beaches, really diverse ethnic heritage, so brilliant Chinese food. So, and look at that waterfall.
That's crazy.
One of the tallest single drop waterfalls in the world. You've got beach and Amazon rainforest, lots of new direct flights from New York, way more accessible than you think.
And how about the price point?
It's very affordable. Remember, all of these destinations we're suggesting, very affordable. You could go there on a family vacation, and you're not going to spend more than $200 a night.
Since 2016, Guyana has racked up a number of awards in tourism. These include the world's #1 best ecotourism and a top 10 sustainable destination at ITB Berlin, the world's leading travel and trade show, first place at Welcome Back to Nature video at the Golden City Gate Awards, Best in Sustainable Tourism at the Latter Achievement Awards, Best in Destination Stewardship at the CTO's Sustainable Tourism Awards program, and the silver at Best of Adventure from International Travel and Tourism Awards at the World Travel Market in London. Reporting from the Botanical Gardens with videographer Tej Paul Brishmahan, Shaquille Bourne for InfoHub.
President David Granger, in his New Year's address to the nation, outlined what the coalition government's Good Life plan will entail over the next 5 years.
His Excellency President David Granger says that Guyanese can expect a higher quality of life over the next 5 years as the coalition government looks beyond 2020.
We are laying plans for the future. We are planning for improvements in our lives in the form of economic growth, which will accelerate as production increases and the major sectors become stronger and more resilient. Farmers and fishers benefiting from the modernization and the diversification of their sectors. Miners enjoying safer mining practices. Education and healthcare, which will continue to improve. Information and communications technology will be extended countrywide to link all regions and communities.
The head of state added that employment opportunities will be available with larger disposable incomes, which will improve the standard of living for all Guyanese.
Public infrastructure, which will continue to be rehabilitated, upgraded and expanded, and more housing for low-income families. Energy supply, which will be extended to more rural and hinterland communities. Manufacturing enterprises will be catalyzed by more reliable electricity, and the generation of electricity from sustainable sources will be expanded. We maintain that the principal objective of the state will always be to secure the good life for all.
President Granger explained that the good life will entail providing every citizen with opportunities to be the best he or she can be.
Securing sustained economic prosperity, ensuring access to quality public services, and promoting social cohesion. The good life involves eradicating extreme poverty and reducing class, racial, and geographic inequalities. The ultimate measure of the good life is happy communities, happy households, and happy people.
Paul McAdam for InfoHub.
20 families of Broad and Lombard Streets, Georgetown, will move into their brand new homes at Prospect, East Bank, Demerara before the end of this month.
In July of this year, the Central Housing and Planning Authority, in collaboration with Food for the Poor Guyana, Inc., commenced the first phase of a relocation project, turning the sod for the construction of 20 two-bedroom, 20 by 16 homes for the families. Minister within the Ministry of Communities with responsibility for housing, Annette Ferguson, and Chief Executive Officer of CHNPA, Leland Saul, turned the sod for the project. CHNPA's Director of Community Development, Gladwin Charles, reported recently that the homes have been completed.
Very soon, maybe within the next week, those houses will be handed over. They're working on the electrical fittings right now, and the houses are painted. I think it would have, maybe some persons would have covered that already. So before the end of January, those persons would be living in those houses.
The homes received 59% funding from a CHNPA, while Food for the Poor Guyana contributed 41%. The beneficiaries were required to oversee the installation of electricity and water to their homes and prepare the space for septic tanks. The Broad and Lombard Street project began in July 2017 when residents were required to relocate following a court order by the Gonzales Company. The government immediately stepped in to bring relief to the residents. 6 families that lost their homes to fire in March last year were placed on the priority list. For InfoHub, Alexis Rodney.
A $200 million technical institute has been completed at Beena Hill, Anai, and will be commissioned this month.
The Hinterland Green Enterprises Center is a 20,000 square foot 2-story concrete and wooden structure with 8 classrooms, a modern computer and science laboratory, a large auditorium, and a lecture room. The facility is located in the same compound as the Beena Hill Youth Learning Center and will accommodate 120 students from regions 1, 7, 8, 9, and 10. It will offer a curriculum in sustainable enterprise leadership and an enterprise support unit. Minister of Indigenous Peoples Affairs Sidney Allicock, during a recent interview with the Department of Public Information, explained that the institute would meet the demand for skilled personnel in the hinterland regions. This project will be replicated in regions 1, 7, and 8, with the feasibility studies done last year. It is in keeping with the administration's effort to bridge the education gap between hinterland and the coastland. For InfoHub, Delicia Haynes.
When we return, Minister of Education Dr. Nicolette Henry inspects several schools in and around the city. And Hope Coconut Industries Limited rakes in $36 million in 2019. Details of these stories and more after the break. Stay with us.
Daddy!
Welcome back. Minister of Education Dr. Nicolette Henry today inspected several schools in and around the city to check their readiness for reopening on Monday.
As students prepare to head back to school on Monday, Education Minister Dr. Nicolette Henry visited several city schools. She engaged teachers and got a look around at the learning facilities.
I have to say that people are busy preparing for the new year, and I trust that by the time we get to Monday, people will be fully and adequately prepared.
Starting on January 6, 2020, students can expect to start their first school term in the decade of development on the right footing.
Well, as you know, the decade of development is really important for the country's overall development, and education is key to that. And so we need to ensure that the environment is conducive as far as possible for those that are learning and for those that are teaching.
The minister explained that preparations are on the way to ensure that everything is in order so that students are welcomed to a conducive learning environment.
Aspire towards the vision of the ministry, and that is to work to ensure that every child is taken care of in the education sector.
Among the schools visited by the Ministry of Education's team were Sophia Primary, Turkine Nursery, the New Camerville Secondary, and Tutorial High School. Paul McAdam for InfoHub.
Hope Coconut Industries Limited entered 2020 on a good footing, with its annual income leaping from $17 million in 2015 to $36 million in 2019, reflective of a 47% overall increase.
3 years and running, General Manager of Hope Coconut Industries Limited, Ricky Rupchan, explained what has led to the estate's success.
The estate has recently took a turn in the right direction with the new management, board of directors, and with support from the Ministry of Agriculture, especially the Minister, the Honorable Noel Holder. He has a vision of seeing this estate become sustainable, and we are working towards that goal.
According to General Manager, the estate went from bankruptcy to riches in just over 3 years. Rupchan noted the several income-generating projects the estate has implemented.
One such project is our coconut nursery, where we produce coconut seedling for farmers. This has come from where it has we started with just 5 beds, what we call 5 beds, and we had the potential because we started with just 1,500 seedlings for replication. Now we have increased over the years with support from CARDI and the European Union and the Ministry of Agriculture. We have moved that up significantly to 84 beds, and now we could do 100,000 seedlings per year.
General Manager Rup Chan explained that Hope Estate's coconut nursery is one of the most productive not only in Guyana, but in the entire Caribbean. The nursery serves as one of the main income streams of the estate. Reporting for InfoHub, Gavin Lewis.
As we count down to Guyana's Golden Jubilee Republic anniversary, here's Neola Damon with this special report on the history of Mashramani.
What started out as an effort to organize Guyana's once highly favored Independence Carnival turned into a national event celebrating the country's Republican status in 1970. Known as Republic Day or Mashramani, derived from an indigenous language meaning celebration after cooperative work, was organized and planned by the JSC's Republic Celebrations Committee. This festival, however, created quite a stir in its initial stages.
According to veteran broadcaster Ron Robinson, or Uncle Ron as he's fondly called.
There were two schools of thought. One was it was going to be a national celebration, festivities after work or what have you, celebration after hard work. But there was another school of thought that was actually against MASH in February on the 23rd because it was close to a certain person's birthday. And they felt that it was foisting on the Guyanese celebrating that birthday. Well, however, that was overcome, and Mashramani from day one was an amazingly cohesive event. There were Guyanese all over the place who accepted Mashramani.
Uncle Ron believes that the colorful event was integral in uniting the people.
What I remember vividly is that we would start at, say, 9 in the morning, and at 9 o'clock, the first masquerade band, because we always started with a masquerade band, they led the way. They would come in at 9 o'clock on the button. And by the time they came past the judges and they were going back out, the second band was coming in. And the same thing, there was a continuous flow. And I think it was because of two persons. One was Mr. Bunny Finance, who was a no-nonsense man. And what he said to all the masquerade, well, all the participants with their costumes and so on, he assigned them numbers, they pulled numbers, and he separated them. And if you were number 4, you came in at number 4. You could not come in at number 5 or 6. If that was the case, you were not judged.
Organizers chose the national park as the desired spot to host the Mashramani parade. This 3-day national event was made possible by JC's chairman, Jimmy Hamilton, Jim Blackman, Alan Gutam, among others. Neola Damon, InfoHub.
That's all for today. Connect with us on WhatsApp, Facebook, and YouTube. Much more news is on our website, dpi.gov.gy, and pop over to Instagram for the latest photo updates at DPI Guyana. Remember to subscribe to our WhatsApp on 608-4111 to experience Info Plus and keep informed on developments across the country. Your bridge and weather reports are up next. Have a safe and enjoyable weekend. Goodbye.